Every now and again, I pop onto social media to see what the other side are putting out there. Some of it is interesting, some of it is downright disturbing, but all of it is completely wrong. It's come to the point now where I completely disagree with everything the left, and that's what I mean when I say the other side, it's the lefties. Whatever the lefties put out there, they are completely and utterly wrong. Because what these people do is they repeat and distribute, push out the official narrative on things. They don't seem to question anything. And they're massive hypocrites as well, because if you go onto Twitter especially, you will see that they have all these minority flags in the title of their Twitter page or in their bio or social media channels in general. There's like a dozen flags, whether it be LGBT, trans, Palestine, any other social justice cause which has a flag, they'll have it on there. The EU flag, that's another one. And yet, someone like me will have the Union flag behind him, or someone else, a right-winger, a conservative, will have the US flag, and we're called flag shaggers. Well, at least we shag just the one flag. And of course, as we all know, if we have our own opinions, if we do our own research, and we don't agree with these people, then we're all sorts of names, aren't we? Mainly racist and far right. That's the new one now, far right. So anyway, one of these channels is Van Man Talks, and I pop on there every now and again because I find the guy interesting, and I've done a video about him before. You will see him somewhere in my channel if you want to go and have a look. But he is your typical blinkered lefty who pushes the official narrative on issues, and fair play to him on putting his face out there. But then again, if you put your face out there and you had the views contrary to this guy, you wouldn't have a job, you'd be cancelled. But because he goes with the official narrative, pro-EU, pro-migration, illegal migration as well, refugees welcome, climate change, anti-Trump, anti-Tories, all that stuff. It's all standard stuff, really. It's typical of how these people work and how they do things and how they think and what they say, etc. Now, this Van Man Talks, he put a video out a couple of days ago, and it was titled, "This single piece of advice from Sean Locke would have saved the UK." Now, if you don't know who Sean Locke is, he is now a deceased comedian. I'm not sure if he died last year or earlier this year. Anyway, he has met his maker. And this Sean Locke fella, he was on 8 out of 10 Cats? Do Countdown. Anyway, he was on that one. And to be on these panel shows, again, you have to be with the narrative. You have to be a lefty comedian. And lefty comedians these days, or the successful ones, they live in London. They are the official metropolitan elite. They are the establishment. They are champagne socialists. And they look down and sneer on ordinary working class men and women whom they despise. And Sean Locke, he's one of them. He talks like he's from working class background, but he's a complete nutter fucking, well, he was a complete nutter fucking snob. And his humour really wasn't for me because it was all, he sat there and he celebrated Margaret Thatcher's death, and that got like a standing ovation and a big massive round of applause by the audience and fellow panel contestants. Now, this clip that he put on his channel, this Van Man Talks, was Sean Locke, and he was lauding the EU. He sat there, put the EU flag on the table and said, over 65s should not be allowed to vote if we had another EU referendum. Now, imagine being over 65, you have worked all your life, contributed to society, perhaps being involved in World War II, fought real Nazis, and you lived through the Cold War, the recessions, the upheavals in society, and now your democratic right to vote is taken away because some privileged snob like Sean Locke thinks you might vote the wrong way. How disgusting. That is the antithesis of fascism. Not allowing you to vote in case you vote the wrong way, the way they don't like. So for the Van Man Talks to put this video out and agree with this disgusting opinion that the pensioners in this country who helped build this country, built this society, should have their God-given right to vote taken away from them in order to so-called save the UK, I think is disgraceful. People like Van Man Talks and Sean Locke would rather we flood this country with illegal migrants and give them the vote whether they're here legally or not, or whether they have identification or not, and take that privilege, take that right away from people who have lived here, born and bred all their lives, fought for this country perhaps, and paid their dues, who are now hated because they voted Brexit. That's what these people are like, folks. And that's why this country is going down the pan, if you ask me. Imagine if we did not vote for Brexit, the state of this country. If you think it's going to hell in a handcart now, well, it would be far, far worse under the unelected bureaucrats in Brussels. Just look at the state of Europe. At the moment, it's going up in flames. And there we go, that's my video. Hope you like. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until the next time, Roger Trout.